91 bathroom TV. Tin, 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 tin.
With Apple kicking off the WWDC 2014 conference, there's a new version of iOS and Mac OS X. Hi, my name is Kevin Jackson from TechNow, and this is our first impressions of iOS 8.
TechNow.
Since Apple kicked off their conference today, there's a lot of things to talk about iOS and Mac OS X. But let's start with Mac OS X. Mac OS 10.10, as it's called now, is called Yosemite, as they started naming it based on California places after they ran out of mountain lions or cats to talk about, to name them as. So, what Yosemite has that's big is that it's totally revamped in design-wise to look like iOS. Yes, iOS 7 is what Yosemite Mac OS 10 looks like. It's completely revamped with the same icons and everything. One of the best things about iOS and Mac OS 10 now is this continuity, is that all devices can communicate with each other. One of the special things that iOS can do now is that with messaging and calling, is that with an iPhone, iPad, and a Mac computer, that they could all receive phone calls and receive text, and they could also they could also make phone calls and send text. That's what I meant to say. And basically, if any of those three devices are in contact with each other or near with each other, and one of them does not have internet connection, immediately one will give give each other an instant hotspot for each other to use when there's no Wi-Fi connection available, which is really, really cool. Another thing that's with iOS now is there's a new notification tab, which is just simplified to the Today view and the notification view, and they finally have widgets. Thank the Lord that they finally have widgets in iOS. But these widgets are not what you're thinking. You can't download them directly from the app, so they have to come pre-installed inside the app. So the app itself has to have the ability to be a widget, and that widget is added through the notification menu. And this is provided by the new iOS extensibility, which means that iOS apps are now able to extend as plugins and as widgets, and as many other things in the system controls of the operating system. They cannot take over the operating system or override it, but they could go through the operating system. By the operating system, allowing them to do certain things such as having a plugin and having a widget now. So, as in Safari web browser, which is revamped on Mac OS X, Yosemite, with just one bar at the top, and it's no longer with the tab view. You had to click on the address bar to get the tab view and everything else. But on the iOS Safari now, you can use Bing Translate and many other plugins that provided when you download the app. So you must download the app first, and the app must have that extensibility, that feature inside it. And that opens up a big world for iOS now, that it's much safer to use because the widget is not just able to be downloaded as an Android and is through the App Store, so it's a lot safer because Apple scans all its apps in the App Store. Another feature is QuickType, which is a predictive word engine now. So it's basically like the Google keyboard, as it predicts the words that you're gonna say, that you're gonna type down against other people. But this one now, it reads your previous words that you have texted or that you've typed down, and it predicts what you're gonna say next by popping up based on a certain people, based on, like I said, what you typed before that, and it's a new thing. Also, like I said before about the plugins, the new plugin that comes in with QuickType because of the keyboard that it reminded me of is that you can now choose your own keyboard for iOS. Now you can finally have a swipe keyboard on iOS, which is a dream of many people to have, and you can now change your keyboard, which is what many people want to do. Another thing is family sharing, is that you can now share one iTunes account. I mean, if you haven't done this before, you can now share it in one device, and you can add up to 6 family members in this on this one family account, and you guys all get the same pictures. If you want to share them, you guys get the same pictures, the same data, the same movies, the same songs. That's all because it came with the same iTunes account. You know, another thing that's a part of iOS that we kind of predicted before is Health Kit. It's not called Health Book, it's called Health Kit. And like it's rumored before, it helps with the health. To keep track of your calories, your sleep, your blood pressure, all that other stuff. And you could also put an emergency card on there with all the information just in case something happens. The health of it, the the nurses and whoever is there can use your phone to identify who you are, and see your emergency medical information. And the last thing I want to talk about is they don't have split screen view just yet. They haven't even talked about it, but I really think, based on my knowledge, that it's coming in the future. But what they did talk about is they talked about an easier way to contact other people. So if you go to the multitasking view, up at the top now is you can now has the circles, the pictures of all your contacts, and you can all your recent contacts and all your favorite contacts, and you can now click them from a push of the button to either call. And once you click that, it'll pop up with a menu and say that you can either call, text, FaceTime, or email them. So that's really cool. And once you go into multitasking menu, you can finally do that now. So that's just a couple of things. There's many more things that introduce a new Mac OS 10, Yosemite, and iOS 8. But it's not really a big change for the user or for the mainstream user. It's a really big change for the developers. As developers, Apple introduced a new programming language that's kind of like C, that's based on C, called Swift, and so that's gonna get used to. And they introduce a lot more things that includes an existential ability that allows you to have plugins, and there's many more things to the iOS world, to iPhone, to iOS that opens up capabilities that you've never seen before. That's similar to Android, but that's secure. So I guess that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to 90 Bathroom TV and like this because it will really help us out.